Hi everyone and welcome to my studio. This is so exciting. My name is Gideon and I'm also known as Gideonslight, and I'm here to be your creatively fit coach. So grab your canvas, grab your paints and your art journal and join me in my studio as I show you how profound it can be in your life if you allow some space to be creative. So join me now as I show you how. Hi guys, I just wanted to continue with this creative class and show you what I've done with these circles that I cut out with my scissors, and how I'm going to combine these little spheres now in a creative manner on another page that I prepared for today's exercise. So I've got a number of circle-like shapes here, and it's from a palette that I did another exercise with previously. So there's a variety of colors on here that's not necessarily goes together, but I think it can be an interesting abstract kind of painting in the end. So what I've decided to do is to just take these numbers and just cut them in half, and then we have different sizes of spheres that we can combine in interesting ways. I mean, you guys can see how cute this is. So I'm just gonna put them aside so we can make a number of examples here. Just cut them in a way that you think is interesting. So we're gonna have half moon circles of various sizes. And this is a way to begin to show your mind to see creative potential and opportunity in everything that is around us. For so many times we want to create something specific, and we can be so easily disappointed when we create it or paint it and it doesn't quite come out the way that we wanted it to. And one way to create something out of nothing, out of a void, is to do these exercises and then be surprised with what you end up with. So I'm just going to be using, sorry I'm stretching it over you, I'm going to be using just an ordinary glue stick from an art supply store, and I'm going to be gluing them in random places on this piece of paper here. So in a way you are already beginning to learn about collage. Collage is an art form where you create an image by combining various pages and papers and tear-offs and samples from magazines or whatever. But this way you basically use your art supplies and you are creating your own collage elements, and in this way you can create something that you never thought of creating before. And all of this can be an inspiration for a bigger piece of artwork later on, when you've discovered how cute and beautiful these little abstract artworks of collage can be. So literally, don't throw anything away, because anything can be used in an interesting way. look at this cute little thing. Where are you? There you are. And I didn't look for it on the other side. I literally drew circles on the negative side of my palette. So I had no idea what is on the other side. Let's see what we can do here. Let's use a bigger piece. I absolutely love the contrast here between the green and the red with a bit of magenta. Let me just quickly get some glue on here. An interesting placement of some of these circles can also be like right on the edge of your paper, so it looks like the circle is completed up there. Let's use this big one here as well. Beautiful grey with some lavender and a bit of black, and also a hint of yellow. Just making sure there's enough glue on there. So let's swing things around a little bit. I'm gonna come right to the corner there with that big one. So I think because my art materials that I'm playing with is not precious, it's not expensive, I'm literally experimenting here. I'm not scared to experiment. I'm not worried about the outcome. I'm just having fun and just playing. And in the end, because you were having fun and you were playing and you were experimenting, you are amazed at what you are able to put together. And that is the whole point. Your right brain will begin to soar. It will really become inspirational as we go forward. Beautiful magentas, reds and greens. Gorgeous. And I mean, this is stuff you would have thrown in a dustbin afterwards. Not every artist I know keeps their palette papers. Once they've done a project, they rip it off and throw it in the dustbin. So this is one way to do something different. I'm going to leave a bit of space this time between my circles. So now I can begin to combine them in interesting ways. Let's see. Doesn't this remind you of spring? Turquoise and yellow and pink. It's so nice. See, a little exercise like this can take you a few minutes, and you've been in your studio, you created something. What you will begin to feel the more time you spend creating interesting and beautiful art is you will begin to relax and trust your intuition and listen to your artist's voice within, so that when you work on bigger pieces or create something beautiful, you are more confident because you know that you can create something interesting and beautiful. You will be less inclined to be overly critical or overly scared to try something new. You don't want to ruin your art supplies or your canvas or waste expensive paint. It's such a silly idea, really. I mean, I can understand, but we keep ourselves back so much with fear and worry and comparison. So let's try to eliminate those energies of I'm not good enough, I don't know what I'm doing. These are all self-limiting ideas that we sort of tell ourselves all the time. And then in other areas of our lives where we really have to tune into our intuition and our gut feelings, we don't trust ourselves, and we run to our friends and our family and we ask everyone's opinion and everyone's approval to do something that we feel in our heart is the right thing to do. And then if one of them says, oh no, this is a bad idea, or this won't work, or don't do that, or whatever, then we lose all our confidence and we don't do things. And in the end, when we look back in retrospection, we say, you know what, I wish I listened to myself, because now I know it would have worked out. But it's too late now, the opportunity has passed. So one way to learn to trust yourself and to listen to yourself and to follow your gut feeling and your inspiration and your intuition and wisdom is to play in your art studio and to create beautiful artworks out of nothing, because that's a sure way to build your confidence and your knowledge and your intuition, and to learn to trust yourself is to play. What can go wrong? We're not solving world hunger with this exercise, but we are growing as an individual. We are learning, we are experimenting, we are exploring in a safe way. So there's a lot of benefits to having a creative practice beyond just learning about art supplies and how to create beautiful things. I think a lot of great artists out there that are famous and that attained a certain level of artistic freedom and license and respect and praise has arrived there because they've learned to trust themselves, they've learned to experiment, and they've tried something new, something extraordinary, something fresh, something raw, something immediate. And the only way to do that is through playful experimentation, breaking the rules, really getting to know your art supplies. And I think one of the questions that you should be asking is, what if? What if I put this here? What will happen if I use a different color? What will happen if I add some black to this, or red, or, that kind of thing? What will happen if I put this little circle there? Because it's not precious, it's okay if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't excite you and it doesn't look great in the end. But you will learn something if it did work out. And if it didn't, then in the future, that didn't work out, let me try something else. But you have to give yourself the opportunity to experiment and to play and to have fun and to try something new, something that you've never tried before, because that's the way you grow and develop as an artist, is through play, experimentation, try something new, attend a class of somebody that you like their art and you follow them maybe on Instagram or Facebook, and they offer a class. Go for it. You never know what you're going to learn and what you're going to learn from it, and what new technique you might discover that makes your heart sing. But I find a lot of artists, run from one class to the next, and they're like, when I learn this technique and I master that technique and so forth, then I will be happy and then I will be an artist. And all I'm saying is, great, go for those classes, but don't let it limit you. Don't compare yourself. I'm a self-taught artist, and I also fell into that trap of thinking, when I learn a certain amount of technique or whatever, then I will become an artist. And you complete one technique and then you still feel like you are an imposter, or you shouldn't call yourself an artist, or you should hide this from people. So when will the time be right for you to step out and be creative and try something new? That's fun. I'm going to put this one like that. Why not? Here's another piece, quite nice and neutral. It's just like a white and a little bit of paint here on the side. My finger is so sticky now. Where can I put this one? Let's add it here. Here we go. You see, that took like 5 minutes, and I already have this page with all these interesting, cute little circles. That's so exciting. So let me see if I see my gold pen. I like these gold permanent markers, so this is a little bit more of an oil base. Let me just activate it here on my page. And then what you can do is you can go around and just highlight these shapes, accentuate them a little bit, create some drama. Why not? Because it's going to be cute and interesting later when it goes into our art books that we're going to create. Like I said before, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not striving for perfection. I'm striving for creative impetus, creative excitement, inspiration, getting to know my art supplies, trying new things that can maybe lead to a bigger piece of art that is astonishing. And people ask, how did you do that? You know, what was your inspiration? And it came out of a simple little exercise that you did on a piece of recycled paper and with a color palette that you cut up into repetitive shapes. And I think that's part of the secret here of why this can work as a little exercise, is we are repeating the same shape. So we cut them in little circles and we stick them randomly to a page, and then exciting little things happen. And you know, when I know that you're in the zone, in the right brain zone, is when you become quiet. Because you are single-minded, you are present with your art supply. So it's also meditative. It's very mindful, this kind of exercise. And if you're someone that wants to meditate, but you struggle to meditate because it's difficult for you to sit still, then, you know, having a creative practice might be the way to meditate on, you know, being mindful, being present, breathing deeply, and focusing on playing with your art supplies. Allowing yourself not to get distracted by, you know, all kinds of other thoughts, but really being present for 10 or 15 minutes and create something new, something wonderful. You see now, so the little bit of bubbling is adding some drama to this page, and then later when we add this page to our art little book, that's going to become a little page in our book that's going to be so much fun. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time later just to glue all of these edges down, and you can also use a little bit of your acrylic medium afterwards and just do a glaze of this over the whole page and just seal it in so that it brings all these colors forward and it makes it one cohesive piece. That's just a suggestion. I find that works really well, especially to strengthen up this recycled paper that I'm playing with. So I'm all excited to see what you guys are going to create with your palette from today's exercise. So go ahead and do that and finish your little task and take some photographs and share it with us on our group, The Creative Heart. And I will see you guys next week for our next installment. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.